Hi, my name is Cody, and today we're going to be discussing inspecting your drive shaft. The first thing we're going to do is visually inspect our drive shaft and components, and we're going to look at the slip joint here, make sure it's not leaking anything, it's all good. And you're going to check your U-joints and yokes, make sure they don't have any kind of damage to them and they're in good working condition. While you're spinning, checking those, or even after you've checked those, spin your drive shaft some to make sure that it's not binding up or anything. And then you're going to want to do a visual inspection of your drive shaft, make sure there's no excessive damage to the drive shaft. And then you come down to the other end and inspect those yokes and U-joints, make sure don't have any damage. Here you can see there's some excessive grease there. I don't know if it wasn't cleaned up or if it's from it leaking. And here you can see that there's a bolt that has not been properly torqued down. That would be something you would want to correct. Next we are going to get our drive shaft angles, and we're going to measure off 4 spots, both ends of the drive shaft on the yokes, and then off the transmission yoke and the differential yoke. We'll need a digital protractor for this. You'll want to set it down on a flat surface and zero it out to start. Once you have your protractor zeroed, you can use a socket to help get your measurement, but you'll take a socket, place it on the cap of your U-joint, and then place your protractor up against that to get your reading. Right now we're taking measurements off the drive shaft. Here you can see this is 5 degrees up. You want to pay attention to which way that arrow is facing. Now, when you're taking your measurements from front to back, you want to make sure that you stay facing the same way that you were when you took the front measurement, or it's going to mess up all your measurements. And here, like we did up front, take our measurement, see 5.4 degrees up, and once you get those measurements, you will then rotate your drive shaft 90 degrees, and then you'll get your measurements off your transmission yoke and your differential yoke. Once you've rotated your drive shaft, you're going to want to look down it to make sure that your caps on your U-joints are facing straight down to the ground. And once again, measure on the same side that you started your measurements on. And we're doing the transmission measurement right now of the transmission yoke, which is showing 2.9 degrees. The next spot we're going to measure on is going to be the differential yoke. And you're going to do it the same way you've done all the measurements. Make sure you're facing the same way. And here we are showing 8 degrees going up. The reason why you need to pay attention to the arrow is so you can work out your math for your working angles. Here you have the transmission and the front of the drive shaft. It's giving you 2.2 degrees for your working angle, which is within specs because the max for any one angle is 3 degrees. The minimum would be half of a degree. Looking at your rear working angle, it works out to 4.6 degrees, which would be out of specifications. The variance between the two is greater than 1 degree, so once again it's out of specifications due to that as well. But that would be due to the fact that this truck does not have a bed on it. Next, we're going to check the phasing for your drive shaft, and you'll get these by, instead of taking measurements parallel with the drive shaft, you do them perpendicular off the drive shaft yokes. And here you can see it's 1.9 degrees up. Once again, you want to pay attention to that arrow. And come down and take a measurement down here, giving you 2 degrees up, which gives you a 0.1 degree difference, and the specification is 1 degree, so it is within specs.